Thanks for having me on today. I appreciate it. My name is Howard Wernow. I'm one of 9 patent attorneys at our firm, Sand Siebold and Wernow. We're located in Ohio, so a little bit remote from the Arrowhead Center in Las Cruces. However, we have a nationwide practice, and so the bulk of our practice is focused exclusively on intellectual property law, which constitutes patents, copyrights, and trademarks. And those areas of the law are federal jurisdiction, so we can practice anywhere in the country. So I have many clients from the New Mexico area through the Arrowhead program, the Arrowhead Center, and what we do for them is we help them with entrepreneurial aspects of their business relating to patents, patent applications, trademark applications, and copyright. And if our practice also does litigation, if ever it were to come to a client needing intellectual property litigation, we would handle those aspects for them as well.
What insights and advice do you have for businesses at this time?
Yeah, the coronavirus was scary for all businesses because just like many of those out there listening, our law firm is a small business. We're not a giant firm. There's 20 people here. We're a close-knit family, just like many entrepreneurs who are starting out. When the shutdown occurred, like many of you and like many of the Arrowhead clients that are watching today, we had many questions. We didn't know what to do. So the first thing we had to do is come together as a group. And what we did is we started with, again, after shutting the office down and everyone working remote, what we started doing was 2 meetings a week with the entire staff. Now, granted, we only have 20 people, so it was easy to manage. Now, I don't know if larger companies could do that, but for smaller companies or entrepreneurs starting out with just a few team members, the first thing we did, and the first thing I would suggest to anyone who is going through a pandemic would be immediately gather your team and start pooling the resources, the personnel resources you have, seeing what capabilities people have to work remotely.
What tips or strategies are important for businesses to implement?
As a law firm, we did have some technical capabilities to work remote. We do have the ability and the techniques to work via email, sending documents back and forth to a lot of our clients. Now, I recognize not every entrepreneurial business is set up in that regard, right? If you're making something, if you're creating, it's hard to be sending emails and documents back and forth when you're trying to produce or manufacture something. But a lot of the precursors to what those types of businesses need to do can be done through group meetings via Skype, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, those kind of resources. So we used a lot of those technologies to build an action plan by meeting a few times a week to develop the go-forward strategy. And then after that, once we had started having those weekly meetings, we actually implemented, or during those meetings, we built a plan, and then we implemented those plans, and we had each time we met, like a status check to see where we were. And we tweaked, and it was an iterative process that we tweaked as we went. We had an opportunity to adjust. We saw some things that weren't working. We thought that working remotely would kind of focus our attention towards one area of the practice. And what we realized is that what it was more of a global shift was that each area of the practice needed to change a little bit. And so each of the attorneys started setting meetings with their support staff. And from there, we were, over the course of 10 weeks, just like any other trial and error process, we were able to develop and tweak our plan. And now we've done a pretty good job of, if we ever come into this crisis again, how to work as a fully functional law office completely remote if needed. And I think what advantage that will give us of having those skill sets, and not just us, but I think all businesses are learning this, is it might not be as critical as once was thought to have face-to-face meetings and interactions all the time. I think if you have a lot of trust in your team and your staff to know that they are doing what's expected of them, then every member of the team can work independently and connect remotely. And so we have a tremendous staff that we trust completely who does a great job. And for those reasons, some of these changes that we've implemented of kind of working remotely more frequently, even as the country opens up, we're still going to implement those and keep those going moving forward. As a final wrap-up thought, I would just want to reiterate again that we hear a lot of cliches today of like, what is the new normal and how things are going to be moving forward. I think moving forward, there's never going to be like a true normal, and every entrepreneur knows that. And at its heart, as a small business, even though we're a law firm, we're still a small business, right? And so we're still entrepreneurs. We're still out helping people, selling, advertising, and those kind of things. So, just like everyone else out there, everyone's adjusting. So I know we say it a lot, but I think flexibility is key. Having a good team on your side, putting together a good set of advisors that you can find through the Arrowhead Center, amongst other places. The best takeaway for any young entrepreneur or business is, just always be ready for change, always be flexible, and the drive to success. Never lose that drive, and hopefully we'll see everyone's fruits come to pass. So I appreciate you having me on today. The Arrowhead Center has our contact information, so if anyone has further questions, I'm happy to answer them individually if they'd like.
This video was brought to you by the New Mexico Economic Development Department, Office of Science and Technology. Discover more resources to support your business at arrowheadcenter.nmsu.edu.